Hi, everybody. I am Alan Britt.
I am Andy Wyke.
I'm Steve Mobby.
And I'm Shane Ireland.
And welcome back to Mystery Tobacco Review for the month of September.
It's almost spooky season. It is spooky. It's spooky season.
It's close.
It's
enough.
always spooky season.
Yeah. If we can have Christmas in like October, we're doing spooky season right
Christmas
now.
in like August.
That's what, that's what punctuates it for me, you know.
Yeah.
Like we get Christmas blends and Christmas pipes.
Yeah.
That's what I know I get to break out my cape.
That it's spooky season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cassie
absolutely.
was just telling me yesterday, and for those of you who don't know, not only is Cassie diabolical, as we pointed out in the last episode,
As has been established.
she's also a Christmas fanatic, and she was telling me yesterday that she walked into Michael's and has probably never been more happy in her life at the Christmas display they have.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
That is an experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the cinnamon brooms.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Got to keep a cinnamon broom in the house. I've had one against my will. My wife keeps one in the living room.
Don't lie. You went and
You're
picked
around?
that out
I kind
yourself.
of like it.
Yeah.
I didn't point it out. But, I didn't pick it out. But
Against my will.
Against my will.
But yeah, today we'll start off by saying we're smoking in English.
Yes.
Provided
Extra
by
spooky.
this month's Inquisitor is a good friend of Smoking Pipes, good personal friend of a few of us. Bo Parker. Bo.
Shout out, Bo.
And basically a neighbor as the crow flies too.
Yeah. Bo is up in Greenville.
Carolina boy.
And if you've heard many of our shout outs to Methodical Coffee, if you can see my socks on camera, I'm rocking some Methodical socks.
They have
today.
socks?
They do.
You have to pay the premium subscription to
Yes.
get shots, the sock
Yeah,
shots.
no feet shots for free.
All the beans actually come in the sock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're burlap socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like those like scented socks, with the little footy holes, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really grippy.
No idea what you're talking about.
You know? They're like hospital socks.
Yeah,
but
grippy
they smell
socks.
good.
Yeah.
What are hospital socks?
They got like the little grippers on the
Yeah,
bottom so
yeah.
they don't fall.
Have you ever been to
It's
a
like slipper type
Yeah.
situation.
I don't know if your kids are quite that age yet where like jump parks are a thing. Jump parks, you get grippy
They'd have to
socks also.
my kids need to figure out walking and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not at jumping yet.
Jump parks are great, but you get
Save the trampoline houses for a couple more years.
you get grippy socks and you get to keep them.
Oh, okay. You get to keep
Yeah.
Yeah, you get
Alan has stacks of grippy socks.
I do though.
Have you actually taken
Like,
your
even
kid
I
there?
do.
Or have
Oh
you
yeah,
just-
No, it's
Yeah.
just
I
Alan.
just go for the socks.
Yeah.
He's got stacks of
Okay,
grippy
here's
socks
the
and
question
cinnamon
though.
brooms
Like, when you
in his room.
return to those places, do you bring those socks that you've already?
Oh yeah,
like a reusable Starbucks
yeah,
cup.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're reusable socks.
They are.
Yeah.
So
I
wait,
never
so
knew
when
that.
Alan rolls up to the counter, he's like, "No, I got
Yeah.
my own.
I
I got my own on me."
I got that high end. I
got
got
my
some
own on me.
vintage grippy socks. In.
Oh god.
So tobacco.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Bo. Thanks.
Englishes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bo is also known for is a co-host of the Pipe and Tamper Podcast with another good friend of ours, Jay Furman. Those guys took over the podcast. Bo took over the podcast earlier this year, I believe. Unless I'm once again mistaken about the timeline.
It was
of life.
2023.
No. It was. I'm pretty sure it was earlier this year.
It was recent.
But yeah, great friend, and he's provided us with an English blend. I think our first of the year.
I believe so. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
This late in the year? Normally, all summers, it's freaking hot girl English summer
Yeah.
up in here.
Hot girl English summer.
I think we've been on the Virginia train all year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have been.
Interesting.
Done a really good job selecting our Inquisitors.
Yeah, we have.
Until
now.
Yeah.
No, actually though, but we were just talking about before the camera started rolling that I've only been back in South Carolina at the moment for 2 days, but it is way cooler today than it has been in a good minute. So, the pipe gods are kind. We have some English weather for this mystery review.
Yeah. And it's no secret I don't smoke a ton of Latakia blends.
Clutching your pearls.
I recently.
I had you pegged as a grippy sock and Latakia guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recently was smoking.
Your grippy sock.
I've been smoking
And cinnamon brew.
As far as if we're talking practically, what blends would be good for trampolining, I feel like English blends are pretty forgiving of technique and stuff like that. You could smoke early morning trampoline, early morning pipe. No, yeah, it could. I mean, ostensibly,
Yeah.
Englishes are the
It's probably the move.
official
They would be the
tobacco
most
of
forgiving.
the trampoline league.
Official
Is there a trampoline league? There's probably professional trampolining.
If not, there's got to be right
There
now.
has to be professional trampolining, right?
Yeah.
We need to like add it. We need to float a.
Oh, Ben definitely knows.
Ben probably has an autograph of like
Yeah.
whoever the trampoline is. Yeah.
ESPN has been showing a lot of
ESPN the
professional
Ocho.
pillow.
ESPN the Ocho.
They've been showing a lot of professional pillow fighting recently.
What?
Yeah. I've seen
Okay, well then trampolining is absolutely.
Has to
for
be.
sure.
Has to be.
Yeah.
If
You can
It's
even
an
combine
Olympic
the two,
sport.
like pillow fighting
If
on
professional
a trampoline.
pillow fighting has been getting actual coverage on ESPN for sure.
Like
trampoline.
ESPN full stop
Maybe
or
ESPN
ESPN?
2.
Yeah, okay.
But like,
Okay.
it's not as far down as the Ocho.
Right.
Like, it's.
I mean, pillow fighting being on ESPN2 is kind of wild.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, granted, its time slot's like 1 a.m., but
Still though.
yeah.
those are prime pillow fighting hours.
Yeah, that's when you're gonna have a pillow fight.
Yeah. It's trying to
So I taste Latakia.
That's true.
super smoky.
Yeah. But when I was
Makes you
talking
wanna have
about
a
actual
bonfire.
tobacco before we went off the deep end again, I have been smoking a particular Latakia blend recently. I don't. This definitely
Yeah.
isn't it. But I do.
I've been smoking a lot of English blends lately. This definitely isn't one of them.
He's narrowing it down.
Really.
I'm. Would everyone agree this is likely a C&D ribbon?
Oh, I don't think so.
Really
Yeah. My first thought was Europe.
interesting.
Also the smell, and I can't even explain it. I really can't, and I'm trying to figure out how I've even arrived at this conclusion.
Yeah.
But like this English smells to me like a particular production, and it could be many blends. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to narrow it down very much. I'm trying to think components at the moment. But there's a I don't know if it's from the Orientals because it's almost like a mustiness, but it smells different than the stuff that C&D produces.
It's like slightly sour.
Yeah, you get what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And like I especially associate it with the English blends that I tended, when I was more of a Latakia smoker, that I tended to like gravitate towards were the ones where the Turkish component felt like it had more of an influence than the Latakia did. Yeah. Early morning pipe, actually, early morning trampoline, as it's known colloquially. Early morning pipe.
The real
is
ones know.
The real ones know.
The hydraulic flake.
Yeah, skiff mixture, early morning, maybe even London, Dunhill's London mixture, which
Yeah.
is out of production. Red Rappery is a little bit like that. Like those kind of blends give me that like sort of Turkish forward and sort of sour notes.
Yeah.
And this definitely reminds me of that.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of sour, especially on the retro.
I agree.
It's not actually that campfirey, and like almost certainly this is Cyprian Latakia that we're talking about here, and
yeah.
for it to be more woody and more earthy and more sour than like smoky, I feel like the proportions probably are favoring the other components. Also, there might be some cav in here,
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I would
I think so.
definitely assume.
and that's a pretty decent little clue.
It just tastes like C&D to me.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, so I've been smoking a lot of Awakened Elder recently. I was surprised at myself. What I told Steve, I went in his office with a jar and was like, "You'll never hear me say this again. Smoke this English blend."
And I did not.
Yeah.
And Steve was like, no thanks.
But
I have heard you say that
Elder's been
about
hitting me.
Smokehouse, though.
Yeah,
I've heard him say that a large number of times for somebody who
I'll never
says that
say
he'll
this
never
again.
say it again.
Smoke this tobacco.
Right.
yeah.
No, Smokehouse is legit, and Awakened Elder is also good.
It's the Casturian Awakened Elder. It's just got this like super prominent coffee note for me, and it's just super spicy on the retro hill from that Casturi.
Interesting.
I dig it.
I am enjoying this.
That's good.
It's not a very full or very Latakia forward English mixture from the first
It's almost
however
got
many minutes.
a wine-like quality to it.
Yes. Yes.
And I dig that. I dig that for sure. Those sort of like darker, like English blends like this. Part of the reason that I like them, and I don't even know where this is coming from. Maybe it's the interplay between the Oriental varietals and the Virginias. but they have moments of feeling sweet, but they're not really. Like the finish is usually dry. You don't get a lot of sweetness. There's probably not a lot of sugar content in most of the blend, but it gives me these like moments of like feeling like I'm about to taste like that sweeter fruitiness, but it actually ends up being more like a dry wine fruitiness. You know what I mean?
So if you're thinking European manufactured, what manufacturer are you leaning towards?
I mean, I was leaning towards Cop. And again, like in my head, I'm like, oh, I usually feel like maybe their ribbon cuts are a little more long, like a little longer, a little less like wild cut than this. But then again, but that's the thing. I also feel that way about the Peterson blends, formerly the Dunhill blends. Like the cuts of those were always like relatively fine for a ribbon cut and like long
And spongy.
and like spongy. So I did. That's the reason I didn't think Orlik. Is because of that. Like those cuts are like really, really uniform and like, like nearly shag-like, like or like really towing the line between a ribbon and a shag. God, now I'm wondering if I am wrong. To be honest with you,
It feels like a C&D cut to me.
yeah, you might be right.
Just based on the cut, I'm inclined to lean towards Alan. I was not thinking that when I first started smoking it, but just based on the cut, Alan might be right for once.
I don't know, because it's like you have these little ribbons that do look more like an STG ribbon.
Like this.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Like they're like
That's a
accordions.
good one.
Like
See, I don't have anything that long in what I have broken out here.
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
all right, dude.
I appreciate that, man. That makes me feel better.
It's the little things.
I can't even explain why I feel like this isn't a C&D cut, but I'm like second guessing everything basically.
I feel you.
Oh, see, I do have a couple.
Like there are, when I think Cop ribbon cuts, I feel like a lot of their stuff is not on the lengthier side and kind of
a little more wild cut.
wild cut. That's a good way to put it. And this feels wild. So I feel you. But I don't know, the way it broke down just felt C&D to me.
And like I said, I was like, for me, it was the aroma in the bag more than it was the cut that had me like immediately thinking European manufacturer and like maybe specifically Cop.
Well, yeah, it doesn't smell like the current Latakia that C&D uses, the Turkish Latakia, right?
Yeah.
So that's another interesting question. Do we think there's any age
Well,
on
that's
this?
what I'm saying. What if it's not current?
Yeah.
I'll be dead honest, there's this particular blend in mind when I smoked this from C&D that I thought about as soon as I lit it up.
Okay. You can share with the class or?
No, he's gonna be mysterious.
Palmetto Vulcan. That like wine-like quality.
I feel like that
Way
wine-
more intense on that blend.
It's a lot
Yeah,
more.
this
winey,
is subtle. Like,
in my opinion.
yeah.
Man, that's immediately. I remember vague memory, not vague, vivid. The opposite of vague.
Vaguely vivid.
Sitting on the couch in your office with like Steve and Jeremy smoking the sample of Palmetto Balkan,
Yeah.
and this kind of just took me back there.
But see, when I was smoking that, like, I remember being like almost overwhelmed by the wine. Like I was getting my antioxidants for the day
Yeah.
because I was getting my glass of red wine. So that's all I smoked for like several months. Good for the heart. Also, Alan, tell me what you think, but I'm tasting chicken.
What?
Is this a reference we're supposed to get?
It's a reference that Alan should get, but apparently it went right over his
no,
head.
it went right over my head. Yeah.
All right, well, shout out to anybody who was at the NASPC show in Columbus.
Oh.
Yeah. Apparently you taste chicken.
I taste chicken.
Dang, I
Nobody else?
I dropped the ball, dude.
Yeah, man, you were sitting right there.
So whatever it was that I just burned smells like almost nothing. So I think that's Cav. I think that's Cav.
That's helpful.
I burned this darker piece, and that definitely smelled Virginia.
I'm sort of burning it all in my pipe at the moment.
Yeah, I know.
That's a radical way to approach this.
It is, yeah.
You know?
I was trying to see if I could identify anything as being Cyprian or not, like. But yeah, it's not going well.
Someone bring out the spectrometer, please.
You thinking it might be Syrian?
No. The C&D Turkish production Latakia would have been a context clue.
Yeah.
But that stuff is like aromatic in a very different way than Cyprian Latakia is.
Do you think there's Perique in this?
I
don't think so.
I don't.
I lean towards some kind of burley.
I don't either. On the Perique, at least. The Burley, I'm still like not sure.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards no on the burley, but it could be. I would not be surprised if there was burley. I'd be surprised if there was Perique.
I just had like a super faint like almond joy kind of a flavor, like dark chocolate and coconut kind of a deal. Is that almond joy or is that Mounds? I don't remember.
The only difference is a nut.
I felt like the chocolate is it.
It's an important difference.
It's an important difference, yeah.
No, I was just thinking about the time that I told Jeremy that almond's my favorite nut, and then he talked to me about how the almond industry is ruining the environment.
He's like, wow,
Here, let me ruin that for you.
Yeah, he meant well.
And he's right.
It's like, oh, I guess
smell
I have
this.
to.
But I don't have to like it.
car tires.
Car tires, yeah.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like burning rubber.
Yeah, I like it.
So there's some diced up black Irish X in here. That's what I'm saying.
A little steamed Virginia.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not tasting Perique. Like component-wise and stuff, I feel like, like Latakia, Oriental, Virginias, and maybe some Cav is what it feels like to me.
Yep, agreed.
I still want to say there's like a burley in here.
It's like medium strength, medium flavor, but there's like it feels like it has like a decent amount of body, you know what I mean? Like, and Latakia can do that for sure, like density of the smoke and that creamy feel and everything, but also like Cav tends to be added for those reasons too. And this feels like it has like a big...
Yeah, it's sort of.
Yeah, it's
I
very
like,
dense
I like the
smoke
way
for
that
me.
Jeremy describes, like how Black Cavendish can be used as like a flower in a roux, like carrying those flavors through the palate. And I feel like the like finish is long here.
Yeah.
The black cab in the English blend seems far more like a C&D thing to do than a cop thing to do.
There's a lot of cop English blends with Black Cab.
I don't smoke a lot of English once again.
Alan's like, in my total lack of experience, I have not encountered
Well,
this.
I know the product.
Black Mallory, Red Rappery.
Red Rappery has black cab?
Yeah, just a smaller proportion. I'm pretty sure. Mallory does 100%.
Okay. Because, I've smoked Red Rappery. That's one, it's not super heavy on Latakia. I smoke that and really enjoy it.
I'd be kind of shocked if that's what this was, and I've smoked more Red Rappery than maybe any of the other cop English blends. But then again, too, like, I don't remember Black Mallory. I was leaning towards Black Mallory, to be honest with you. But I feel like there's not enough Cav/Latakia, like dark leaf in this, and also like I tend to not get as much Oriental forward stuff from that blend. I don't even know if I'm gonna have like a real good guess here.
How old are you used to smoking?
Honestly, I almost never really aged any of that stuff. As far as English blends go, I'd say the oldest things that I smoked, aside from like trying random like Sobrani whatevers, like again like London Mixture, Early Morning, stuff like that. Skiff, I like put down a lot of Skiff for a while. Smoked a lot of that, but most of the time when I was grabbing tins of like the Rattray's Englishes, and that's the other thing too, is there's also Jocks and Accountants, Professional Mixture. Like there's so many. I was just smoking those fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so again, that brings me back to, do we think there's any age on this?
I do not.
If so, not like a significant amount.
Yeah, I do not.
Yeah. Year 2, 3. So what pipes are we smoking, Jim?
Yeah, let's do pipes real quick.
Talk about pipes. I'm smoking a little Danish billiard from Chris Asquith with a little nice yellow polyester stem.
Nice. Sick.
Very Chris Asquith.
Chris's stem work is
it's
awesome.
pretty cool.
It's super cool. I'm smoking a Peterson Deluxe 01
Nice.
with a very thick chamber.
I'm smoking a little sandblasted appley deal with bamboo, J. Allen. It's a pipe that belonged to a friend, and he was an English smoker, and it's become one of my like premier English pipes.
That's crazy.
I don't have a ton, but like it really does do well. The proportions are perfect, and it's well seasoned.
It's got a little spooky vibe to it. Mm-hmm. Little spooky pipe.
You see that?
Yeah.
That's what my 2-year-old does. He's like, ooh. And most recently, when he's tried to convince us that like it wasn't him that broke something, it was definitely a ghost. It was definitely a ghost.
100%.
Yeah.
sure.
So we have a ghost problem. I'll deal with that when I get home. But
Yeah. We'll take some of this home. We could burn it in the house.
yeah.
I'm smoking a chubby, short little apple from Angelo del Priete. Priete?
Il Cerchio.
El
Cerchio.
Cerchio, yeah. Rocking the hat.
In the hat, yeah.
Thank you, Angelo. My daughter tried to steal this toboggan from me, and I had to get that back. I did send him a photo when he gave me this hat. I sent him a picture of my daughter rocking it, and he's like, "It looks better on her."
Almost certainly correct.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's just
It's
true.
accurate, though.
It's just
Italian
facts.
honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Are you guys gonna guess anything specific?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm guessing cop. I'm leaning towards like Rattrays of some kind. And I think, Alan, you're right, like 2 to 3 years.
I have always
think-
stuck with my gut. Always. And it has always been wrong.
But at least you stuck
But
with
at
it.
least
Yeah,
I've
I
stuck
respect
with it.
that.
I'm gonna stick with Palmetto Balkan.
All right.
That just was the first thing I thought when I lit this bowl, and yeah, I'll be wrong confidently.
I respect that. Also, components-wise, I'm still just thinking Virginia, Latakia, Oriental, and Cavendish. I'm still not sold on Burley.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have a guess. I think when I first lit it up, it reminded me of like EMP or Nightcap.
EMT,
Yeah, early morning tramp.
early morning tramp.
Morning tramp.
But
Or nightcap? Like, aren't those like sort of opposite ends of the spectrum a bit?
yeah,
No.
Somewhere in between
they have
early morning pipe and nightcap.
similarities.
No.
They're both
like,
made out of tobacco.
all of the Peterson / formerly Dunhill blends do have like a
Yeah.
decent,
There's a vibe.
yeah.
yeah, like
There's a
a
vibe.
cohesion.
Yeah. There's a consistent funk.
Yeah, this is either Bayou Morning or Bayou Night.
Or like,
Yeah. No, I think there might be a little smidge of Perique in this.
Okay.
I'm getting a little bit of spice on the retrohale. So I think mostly Virginia's Latakia, Black Cav, Oriental, and a little bit of Perique. So I think this is like sort of like a light Scottish mixture.
I like that you've got like a Jackson Pollock thing of ash from the camper going on over there.
Very Warhol.
Yeah. Pop art, ash rings.
There's some hidden messages in these.
is it my turn technically?
Yes.
Or did you did you say anything?
I didn't guess
You
a
said
blend,
components,
but yeah, I
yeah.
narrowed it down as best as I think I can.
Yeah, I am gonna say I do think it's cop. I'm gonna stick with Oriental, Virginia, Cav, and Latakia. I was waffling back and forth between Rappery and Black Mallory, and I don't even know where I'm landing on that. And then I remembered McConnell's Oriental, and then I'm like, I haven't smoked that one in a long time, and actually that is an English blend that I have smoked mostly with some serious age on it.
Okay.
So I'm like trying to remember because I do recall fresh that it is a little more like Turkish component forward. And then I'm trying to remember all these other Rattrays blends in this. There's a lot of them, and I have not visited most of them as frequently as I have Red Rappery. And there's something about this that makes me feel like Red Rappery gives me a little more sweetness, a little more malty character, a little more Virginia, and that Black Mallory I tended to feel like was more creamy, woody, Latakia forward, with like Cavendish adding a lot of body. But I feel like I remember there being more darker leaf in that blend in general too. I think I'm just gonna throw out like 12 things, and if any of them are even close at all, or share some similar letters in their name, or any of that, I'm gonna be like, all right,
You get 1/12 of a point.
I get 1/12 of a point. All right,
We ready?
Let's see.
Hey y'all, it's Bo Parker from Heretics Pipe Club and Pipe and Tamper Podcast. I get the pleasure of being the Inquisitor of the month for the mystery review. And I went with one of my all-time favorites. It is the English blend that I base all other English blends off of. It is my standard English blend. It is an old blend, and that is Cornell and Dill's Black Duck. I picked it because I think it is kind of one of those blends that people forget about. I think it's one that has transcended time. It has been fantastic for 20 plus years of my smoking experience. And so will the guys be able to figure it out? Probably. They're smart dudes. I love those boys. And yeah, they'll get it right away. No doubt about it. So yeah, have fun. See y'all.
Love the
He goes from probably to don't get it right away.
I love the like trolling overconfidence in our abilities. So I've never smoked this blend in my life.
Same.
So he's right.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. There's usually always tins of Black Duck. Yeah. Always tins of Black Duck that I have sat in this building for a long time. I have seen those tins. I've stocked those tins for a couple of years, and I've never smoked it.
I gotta be honest, like, considering that we're here at Low Country Pipe and Cigar, which is our showroom retail outlet here in Little River, the fact that Black Duck is stocked that regularly here and none of us have smoked it, and it's like kind of a sleeper. Like, do we have just a customer here that loves it? Like,
it is SKU number 1 for Cornell and Dill. It is number 1.
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it sells well.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I know the SKU by heart.
Well, it's just one number.
Yeah. I have just never smoked it.
Yeah, she gave me your phone number. 3. No, but yeah, I'm aware of its existence, and I know it's a deep cut and an old school C&D blend. But yeah, I've never smoked it before. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, I might have to.
I'm assuming
pick
this
up a
was
tin.
a Tarler blend.
Yeah, it almost certainly has to be.
Yeah.
If it's one of the old ones.
Yeah.
So Bo says that we would probably get it right. Mistaken.
I'm taking credit on the Burley for sure.
Yeah, no, you're right, man.
I'm taking credit on the manufacturer.
Yep.
I think this is basically a win for
I'm calling
Alan.
that a dub.
Alan's at least a partial here.
Yeah.
Well, the duck wins.
Also, too, at this point, I feel like we have a pretty compelling pitch for ESPN, the Ocho, to be broadcasting mystery reviews. Like they're doing pillow fights. You know what I mean?
3 a.m. time slot.
Probably like yo-yo champions, trampoline champions.
champ.
Like we can probably
champ.
have our own league.
Yeah.
And be broadcasted at 1 a.m. somewhere.
Talk to Brian Levine about possibly having the Las Vegas Slow Smoke broadcast ESPN Ocho live.
ESPN.
I think we should go for it.
Yeah.
Just take over.
If anybody can make it happen, he could pull some Disney strings. Now that Disney owns ESPN,
Oh wow.
he
Yeah.
can pull some Disney strings, make it happen. Brian.
Brian,
Get on that, Brian.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Competitive mystery smoking. America wants it. We got it.
And even if they don't, we'll give it to them.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you to Bo. Yeah, another big loss for us. If we weren't so used to it, it might sting more.
We still had a good time.
That's all that matters.
Still had fun.
See you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.